Xbox recently launched cloud gaming on Amazon Fire Sticks. They made a big noise about not needing an Xbox to play Xbox with this announcement. It has now been over 2 years since I last talked about Xbox cloud gaming in depth. So, with this announcement, I feel it is time for me to return and see if anything has changed or improved. Back in 2022, I had complaints about Xbox cloud gaming. For starters, the cost felt unacceptable. It was only available via Game Pass Ultimate, the most expensive version of the service, meaning at the time, you had to pay that maximum £10 per month to access Xbox's cloud gaming. Both PC and console players had options to get just their platform for around half the price of Ultimate, but there was no cloud-only selection to mirror the console-only and PC-only counterparts. In the 2 years since, has anything changed? Well, the price has. There have been wider Game Pass changes. On the 10th of July 2024, we saw the second Game Pass adjustment and price increase in as many years. This did things like removing console-only Game Pass, adding a new standard Game Pass tier, which doesn't seem to do anything, and jacking the prices up across the board. What it didn't do was give us a cloud-only tier of Game Pass. This means that just like in 2022, if you want cloud gaming from Xbox, you have to buy their most expensive subscription service, which has increased in cost by 50% here in the UK since 2022, from £10 per month to £15 per month. That price increase in the US and Canada is far greater, costing twice as much in some cases, and the pattern repeats worldwide. So what does this price increase get you above and beyond what you got 2 years ago? Am I now getting 50% more value out of Xbox cloud gaming than I was in 2022? Not really. In fact, as a cloud gamer, nothing has changed since 2022, other than that price of entry. I could probably end the video on that note. Nothing's changed. But let's look at it in more depth. That lack of change means Xbox's cloud gaming is available in the same 22 countries as it was in 2022, the UK being one of those, meaning I can access it. Xbox cloud gaming has the same resolution as 2022 of 1080p, but it is a heavily compressed stream, meaning that 1080p often looks like 720p or worse. Xbox cloud gaming has the same connection challenges as 2022. Here is some Hi-Fi Rush gameplay from 2024. The connection is a 1 gigabit per second, 5 GHz frequency Wi-Fi signal. And the lag is so great that the game only recognises one button press out of 6 for attack combos. Meanwhile, this is 2022 with screen refreshing and stuttering. Taking these clips as evidence, things may have even gotten worse in regards to connection and lag since 2022. Xbox Cloud Gaming doesn't let you play your purchased games, just like back in 2022. You have access to an Xbox curated library which can remove titles at any time. Though, usually the service does warn you if you're playing a title about to leave the subscription. Buying and playing DLC in the cloud is still a convoluted mess, just like back in 2022. And you still only have access to around 400 games, often falling 10 to 20 titles short of that 400 number. 2 years later. In isolation, that feels bad. Paying more for the same or a degrading service just doesn't feel great. But when you look left and right at Xbox's cloud competitors and see what they are doing, it feels even worse. PlayStation, for example, lets you play games that you have purchased alongside an inclusive library. Now don't get me wrong, you still need to subscribe to PlayStation Plus Premium to do that. What that means, however, is that you can play the likes of Spider-Man 2, that you have just bought, immediately after purchase, over the cloud on your PlayStation 5 console with no need to download or update it. The game will run at 4K 60 FPS on any TV that supports it, just as it would if it were installed on the console in the same scenario. There is no lag, at least in any of my playtime, and minimal wait times to get into the title. There's over 800 streamable games on PlayStation, including both the inclusive catalogue and purchasable titles. PS Plus Premium is also a cheaper monthly or annual subscription than Game Pass, at £13.49 per month compared to £14.99 for Game Pass, and £119.99 annually as opposed to £179.88. Nintendo Switch demolishes both. There's no subscription for cloud gaming on Switch. Instead, it is a way for the console to offer games that it would not otherwise be able to run. Buy a game that needs the cloud, and it utilizes the cloud. Okay, it's 1080p 30 FPS most of the time, but Xbox costs £14.99 per month for a comparative experience. Each cloud title also has an available free demo on Switch to see if it works for you before purchase. Like, seriously, this is far superior. GeForce Now offers 4K Ultra PC games with full ray tracing and up to 240 frames per second for a mere £5 more per month. It also has a compatible library of over 2,000 games that grows month on month. Amazon's Luna may have a smaller inclusive library, but its visuals are far superior in an uncompressed 1080p 60 FPS stream. It has links with Ubisoft and Good Old Games to play your purchase titles alongside the inclusive library. It offers content creator options with direct links to Twitch and costs only £8.99 per month, a full £5 per month less than Xbox Cloud Gaming. And these are just the big names. There are plenty of other options out there for people to use that have benefits far beyond Xbox Cloud Gaming, like Blacknut. Blacknut costs £12.99 per month, but inclusive of that price, alongside the cloud gaming library, are 5 unique profiles. This means you can have one subscription at a cheaper price point than Xbox Cloud that offers a service directly comparable to Xbox's, but have 5 people playing it at once. Via Xbox Cloud, to have 5 people playing their own cloud games at the same time in the same household on whatever device they fancy would cost you £74.95 per month. However I look at it or interact with it, Xbox Cloud Gaming just constantly falls short. And that's a shame, because it isn't a case of that there are 0 positives to Xbox Cloud Gaming. That aforementioned play on any device is a massive positive as one example. Now, I don't own an Xbox. The last one I had permanent access to was my roommate's 360 back in 2014. That was an incredible console. But this was back in an era when sharing a console was easy and fun. I purchased the PlayStation options, my roommate bought the Xboxes, and one of our other friends brought the Nintendos so that we could all play all of them. As lives progressed, we got our own places, jobs, and responsibilities. That prevented that decades-old sharing routine from being routine. With money being tight and myself already having the PlayStation console option, Xbox Cloud Gaming allowed me to access the Xbox games that I would otherwise miss out on my Android devices. You can now have that same experience on iPhones, iPads, Fire Sticks, Android TVs, Tizen, aka Samsung TVs, LG TVs, web browsers, Chromebooks, Chromecasts, Linux, Mac, and Windows devices. Microsoft keeps adding further compatibility and have already started a marketing campaign of no console, no problem, play where you like. Whichever way you cut it, this is a low price of entry to the Xbox ecosystem and games, and that is a huge positive point, especially to many cash-strapped gamers. But it's not as good as it was 1 and 2 years ago, because it costs more for the same service. I honestly sat for over half an hour trying to come up with more positives than just play on nearly any device for Xbox Cloud Gaming. And other than being able to use any controller so that I can have lovely symmetrical sticks for my symmetrical thumbs, I essentially failed to see any other positives. That cheap price of entry is exponentially more expensive in 2024 than it was in 2022. Competitors have outstripped the service, offering better visuals, better fidelity, better ecosystem integration, better perks, and better prices. The performance has not improved on any type of connection, meaning everything from queues to start playing a game through to games not loading at all, from screen tearing to horrendous input lag and even full game and service crashes. Now, I don't like putting out near 100% negative videos. Only having 1.5 positive points in this video actually really disappoints me. There was a time around 2020 where I saw cloud gaming as the future of the industry, and Xbox Cloud Gaming was a huge part of solidifying that thought. But in 2024, it only offers a slightly bigger library and 1080p visuals rather than the 640p from 2020. And both of those advancements were in place by 2022. 2 advancements in 2 years and then nothing since means that Xbox still lags behind every other cloud provider. That's not good enough from the richest company on the planet. We're all paying more for the same service 2 years later. For America and Canada, the price has doubled in that period. It has doubled in 2 years, but it offers nothing more for that doubling in price. Once upon a time, I loved this service and I used it regularly. But in 2024, it simply doesn't compare favourably to its own cost, let alone what the competition are offering, and often offering for less money. Xbox Cloud Gaming in 2024 feels like an utter failure of a service. It feels like it was sacrificed so that Xbox could purchase Activision Blizzard and prove to regulators that they didn't have a decent cloud service. They are now proving that point to paying customers. Their latest update is adding the Cloud app to Fire Sticks. Nothing improves, nothing changes, it's just accessible on Fire Sticks now. Great that more people can gain access, but it is a minimal effort update given that the base operating system of Fire Sticks is Android, and they've had a working Android app for Xbox Cloud since 2020. As an add-on for an existing Xbox customer who already has Game Pass Ultimate, Xbox Cloud Gaming is a great bonus that frees up more options to play. As a standalone service that Xbox are trying to position it as though, well, in that scenario, it's a complete failure. This video was produced after 5 years' experience with Project Xcloud and Xbox Cloud Gaming. Project Xcloud usage was a stress test through work in 2019 as a partner company. Xbox Cloud Gaming has always been purchased and paid for personally by Doragon. Neither Microsoft nor Xbox know that this video is being made. They do not get any copy approval or early preview of its contents. If they do see it, they will see it for the first time, right alongside you. I would like to thank you all so much for tuning in. If you like this video, I think these will also be of interest to you. In the meantime, my name is Doragon. You can find me on Threads at Doragon86 or in the Discord in the description. And until next time, folks, have yourselves a fantastic day. And take care.